Welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to take a closer look at the real life of the actor who plays John Dutton, the tough and uncompromising patriarch of the Dutton family in the hit series Yellowstone. So whether you're a die-hard fan of Yellowstone or simply interested in learning more about the fascinating world of acting and filmmaking, this video is sure to provide you with plenty of insights and behind-the-scenes information. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn more about the real life of the actor who brings John Dutton to life on screen. John Dutton is an imposing figure, a force to be reckoned with, and someone you wouldn't want to cross. He is a man of few words, but his actions speak volumes, especially when it comes to protecting his land and family. As the owner of the Dutton Ranch and the father of Casey, Beth, Jamie, and the late Lee, John is fiercely protective of his loved ones and will stop at nothing to ensure their safety. Here we'll also explore some interesting facts about the character, highlight some of his best moments on the show. John Dutton family and history. John Dutton III hails from a long line of Montana ranchers, and while his birth date and age remain a mystery, it is widely assumed that he is around 60 years old. Growing up on Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, John was raised by his father John Dutton Sr. Although it's unclear who his mother was, when his father's health began to fail, John III took over the ranch, promising his father that he would never give it up to anyone. He remains fiercely protective of the land to this day. John eventually married Evelyn, with whom he had 4 children, Lee, Casey, Beth, and Jamie. Tragically, Evelyn died in a horseback riding accident in 1997. While out riding with Beth and Jamie, John never remarried and instead raised his children as a widower. In season 1 of Yellowstone, John's eldest son Lee died during a dispute over cattle, leaving the family devastated. And in season 3, a bombshell was dropped when it was revealed that John's son Jamie was adopted. Jamie learned that his biological mother had been killed by his biological father. His father was sentenced to 30 years in prison, and John and Evelyn adopted Jamie when he was just 3 months old. Despite these challenges, John remains a formidable force in the world of Yellowstone, fiercely protecting his land and family from any threats. John Dutton's love life, John and Evelyn, had a strong and loved marriage that lasted many years, and their bond was unbreakable, even after Evelyn's tragic passing. John never fully recovered from the loss and never found love again. In the series, John has a casual relationship with Governor Leonard Perry, who has also experienced the pain of losing his spouse. In season 4, John meets Summer Higgins, an activist, and the two share a physical interaction. While the relationship is still in its early stages, it is clear that there is a connection between them. Although John's heart still belongs to his late wife, it's clear that he's open to the possibility of finding love again. Only time will tell if his relationship with Summer will develop into something more serious. John Dutton facts. He is the former Livestock Commissioner of Montana. Besides owning and managing Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, John also held the role of Livestock Commissioner for the Montana Livestock Association. This position allowed him to wield significant influence and get things done on a larger scale. However, due to some health issues, Governor Perry requested that John step down from the position. He complied with the request, and his son Casey was appointed as the new Livestock Commissioner in his place. He is very protective of his ranch and family. John's commitment to protecting his ranch is unwavering, as he considered it his family's legacy. He faces constant challenges from various external forces such as the neighboring Indian reservation, real estate agents, and developers, all of whom seek to take control of the valuable land. In addition to his dedication to the ranch, John is fiercely protective of his family. However, he has complicated relationships with his sons Casey and Jamie. Casey struggles to balance his loyalty to his father with his desire for a peaceful life with his wife and son. On the other hand, Jamie constantly seeks his father's approval, but John often views him as a disappointment who doesn't do enough for the ranch. These complexities in their relationships make for intense drama on the show. He has struggled with his health. Throughout the show, John has faced several health challenges, ranging from illness to injury. In season 1, it was revealed that he had colon cancer and underwent surgery to remove 2 feet of his colon. Later on, a CT scan revealed a mass in his body, but John ignored his doctor's advice to get an endoscopy. This led to him coughing up blood and being rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery and physical therapy. In the season 3 finale, John was shot while assisting a woman with a flat ear. He was left for dead on the side of the road, but a bullet was stopped by his cell phone in his shirt pocket, preventing it from piercing his heart. Thanks to the quick thinking of Rip Wheeler, John was airlifted to the hospital and spent a significant amount of time in a coma before ultimately recovering. It was later revealed that Terrell Riggins had hired a militia to attack the Duttons, following orders from Garrett Randall, Jamie's biological father. It was later revealed that Terrell Riggins had hired a militia to attack the Duttons, following orders from Garrett Randall, Jamie's biological father. John Dutton's best moments. Giving Rip his own house. John has developed a strong father-son relationship with Rip, who he took in as a teenager when he became an orphan. John has provided Rip with a job, a home, and a sense of family. In season 2, John shows his gratitude towards Rip by giving Beth a letter in which he acknowledges that there is nothing Rip wouldn't do for the Dutton family. John deeply appreciates Rip's loyalty and dedication to the family. In the letter, John also reveals that he is gifting Rip a house on the ranch. Rip is moved to tears as he realizes that he has earned John's love and respect and has become like a son to him. Dealing with the biker gang. In season 3, ranch hands Ryan, Colby, and Tita discover a motorcycle gang trespassing on ranch property. Ryan politely asks them to leave, but they refuse, and a fight ensues. Rip and Lloyd join in the fray, with Rip driving his truck through a group of parked motorcycles and using a branding stick to fend off gang members. Later that night, John and several ranch hands, including Rip, wait for the motorcycle gang to return. When they do, John orders them at gunpoint to dig their own graves. Though he ultimately decides to let them go, he warns them that if they ever return, they'll be buried in those graves. The incident leaves a lasting impression on the gang, deterring them from attempting to trespass on the ranch again. Sharing a sentimental moment with Casey despite the difficulties between them. John has always loved his son Casey deeply. When Casey left the ranch to be with his wife Monica, who was pregnant with their child, John branded him as a way to try to bring him back. However, in time they were able to reconcile and John welcomed Casey back to the ranch with open arms. In a moving moment, John tells Casey, "You're my son and I know exactly who you are. Don't you ever be sorry for it." Helping Summer out, in season 4, Summer Higgins arrives as a protester against meat production in Montana, putting her at odds with John, who runs Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. Despite their conflicting views, they are able to establish a connection. Beth persuades Summer to protest against market equities, who plan to build an airport on the ranch's land. However, when Summer gets into a fight with a police officer and lands in jail, John bails her out. He's upset with Beth for putting Summer in danger, and the two have a heated argument, walking Beth down the aisle. In the season 4 finale, Rip and Beth tie the knot in a unique and emotional wedding ceremony held at the ranch. John proudly walks his beloved daughter down the aisle, and the couple exchange heartfelt vows in the presence of their closest family and friends. Despite the unconventional setting, the wedding is a beautiful and a memorable moment for everyone involved, marking a significant step in Rip and Beth's relationship and their place in the Dutton family. Announcing his running for governor. In a surprising turn of events, John announced his candidacy for the position of governor. Despite having previously crushed Jamie's own aspirations to hold the position, John receives Governor Perry's endorsement. In a powerful speech, John passionately describes his vision and plans for the state, and his new campaign slogan quickly becomes, "Damn right, I did it." Why did John Dutton adopt Jamie? The exact nature of the relationship between John and Phyllis Randall remains a mystery, and it is unclear if they are related in any way. However, it is known that Jamie was adopted by the Duttons possibly because they had a previous connection with the Randalls. Garrett Randall, Jamie's biological father, was forced to give up his son after he was convicted of killing his wife. Despite this tragic circumstance, Garrett still hoped that Jamie would have a good life at the Dutton Ranch. How much was John Dutton offered for Yellowstone Ranch? In Yellowstone, Market Equities makes a massive offer of $500 million to buy a portion of the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch from John Dutton. However, John is unwilling to sell any part of his ranch as it holds immeasurable value to him. The offer is based on $10,000 per acre for 50,000 acres of land. Although the exact size of the ranch has not been disclosed, it is estimated to be around 750,000 acres, which would make the full property worth an astonishing $7.5 billion if the offer of $10,000 per acre was extended to the entire land. Real life. Now let's talk about the real life of John Dutton, Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner is a multi-talented American celebrity who has excelled in acting, producing, film directing, and music. He was born on January 18, 1955 in Linwood, California. According to estimates, his net worth is around $250 million. Costner has received critical acclaim for his acting skills and has been nominated for and won several prestigious awards. He has stayed in some of Hollywood's most successful and popular movies. Facts about Kevin Costner. He has taken home some of Hollywood's biggest awards. Costner has won 2 Academy Awards, 2 Golden Globe Awards, a Primetime Emmy Award, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. He won Academy Awards for Best Picture and Best Director for the movie Dance with Wolves. Additionally, he won a Golden Globe for Best Director Motion Picture for the same movie. For his role in the miniseries Hatfields and McCoys, Costner won a Golden Globe for Best Actor. Miniseries or television film, as well as a Screen Actor Guild Awards and a Primetime Emmy. He also won a Screen Actors Guild Award for his role in Hidden Figures. For Yellowstone, Costner's performance has been widely acclaimed, and he won a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series. He is a member of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. In 2019, Costner received the prestigious honor of being inducted into the Hall of Great Western Performers at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. He has established himself as a prominent figure in Western films, having starred in many notable titles such as Dance with Wolves, Wyatt Earp, Open Range, Hatfields and McCoys, Silverado, Let Him Go, and Yellowstone. According to Costner, he has a deep love for making westerns, as he feels a strong connection to his identity when working on these films. He also recognizes the importance of westerns in American culture and how they can have a powerful emotional impact on viewers of all ages. In his own words, westerns are not simple, and the resourcefulness that it took for our ancestors to make it is not something to be taken for granted. Costner remains committed to bringing these stories to the screen and continuing to honor the legacy of the western genre. He is the highest paid actor on Yellowstone. Kevin Costner's salary for season 5 of Yellowstone is reported to be $1.3 million per episode. When the show first started, Costner was making $5 lakh per episode. But with the success of the show, his salary has risen significantly, making him one of the highest paid actors on television today. Heads Up Band. Apart from his successful career in acting, directing, and producing, Kevin Costner is also an accomplished musician and a member of a country rock band called Kevin Costner and Mon Weston, in which he serves as a lead singer. They have released several albums, including their latest album, Tales from Yellowstone, which was written from the perspective of John Dutton. Costner's character in the show is hit. Several songs from the album were even featured in season 3 of Yellowstone. He is an environmentalist. Kevin Costner is not only a successful actor, director, producer, and musician, but he is also an advocate for the planet and invested millions of dollars in environmental efforts. In 1995, he started developing oil separation machines from US government patents he bought. He collaborated with UCLA engineering professor Eric Hoek to create a system that filters water contaminated by oil and gas. Cosmos technology was used to help clean up the Gulf of Mexico after the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. Additionally, he has invested in green technology, companies, and advocated for sustainable living. He worked at Disneyland before becoming an actor. Prior to achieving success in Hollywood, Costner was employed at Disneyland, where he served as a Jungle Cruise tour guide. During his time there, he crossed paths with his future spouse, Kindy Silva, who worked as Snow White at the theme park. He has owned race horses. Kevin Costner has a keen interest in racing and has co-owned several race horses. He is a frequent visitor of the Del Mar track, often accompanied by his colleague and producer Jim Wilson, who introduced him to the sport of horse racing. His married life and children, Kevin Costner is married to Christine Baumgartner and they live on a ranch in Colorado. He has 7 children from 3 relationships and his 3 oldest children are actors. Is Kevin Costner a real cowboy? Despite not having a background in cowboy culture, Kevin Costner has portrayed many cowboy roles throughout his acting career. Some of his most well-known roles as a cowboy include Dances with Wolves, Open Range, and Yellowstone. That's it for today's video. I hope you like this. Please do subscribe and share if you want to see more content like this. 1883. The Yellowstone Dutton Ranch is founded, the first installment of the shared Yellowstone universe. 1883 sheds light on how the ranch came to be. It takes us on a journey from Texas to Montana, where James and Margaret Dutton, played by Tim McGraw and Faith Hill respectively, founded the ranch in 1883. Interestingly, the spot of land on which the ranch was founded was chosen by their daughter Elsa, played by Isabel May, as her own gravesite. However, Duttons were not the only ones who had their eyes on his land. As revealed in season 1 finale of 1883, an indigenous man pointed James towards Paradise Valley and warned him that his people would take the land back from the Duttons in 7 generations. The events of 1883 also touch upon the conflict between the white pioneers and the indigenous American nations that inhabited the land before them. The death of Elsa Dutton was a direct result of this conflict. She was killed by a poisoned Lakota arrow during a skirmish that was caused by a misunderstanding. White settlers, bandits, destroyed an indigenous settlement, leading to a retaliation that claimed Elsa's life. Examining the Yellowstone timeline in conjunction with 1883 can provide a better understanding of the connections between the 2 series. It also sheds light on the missing details between 1883 and 1923, as well as the future of the Duttons in the main series. While the events of the shared Yellowstone universe highlight the ongoing geopolitical conflicts in America, it also celebrates the tenacity of the Duttons and their contribution to the cattle ranching industry. 1883. A Bass Reeves story. The Yellowstone timeline is expanding to include more historical figures, with 1883 season 2 set to follow the legendary lawman, Bass Reeves, instead of the Duttons. Despite the shift in focus, the upcoming season is still part of the Yellowstone universe and continues to explore the history of the American West. David Oyelowo will portray Reeves, a former slave who becomes the first black U.S. Marshal assigned to Indian Territory. His proficiency in several indigenous languages and his impressive record of arresting over 3,000 outlaws during his career made him a respected lawman. Showrunner Taylor Sheridan has not revealed much about the upcoming season apart from it focusing on Reeves' true story. But there are hints that it could still tie in with the Duttons or the Rainwaters from the 1923 timeline, possibly through their ancestors. 1894. Jacob Dutton takes charge of the Yellowstone Ranch. 1894 is a pivotal year in the Yellowstone timeline. Spanning from 1883 to 1923, the pilot episode of 1923 revealed that in 1894, Jacob Dutton, portrayed by Harrison Ford, arrived at the ranch to assume control as requested by his sister-in-law, Margaret Dutton, played by Faith Hill. Following the passing of Margaret and her husband James, Jacob took in their sons, John Sir and Spencer in 1923, John Sir and Spencer, played by James Badge Dale and Brandon Sklenar, respectively, are grown men. Jacob's tenure at the ranch proved to be a turning point in the Dutton family's history as he transformed their embattled property into a thriving. In 1923, John and Spencer, played by James Badge Dale and Brandon Sklenar, respectively, are grown men. Jacob's tenure at the ranch proved to be a turning point in the Dutton family's history as he transformed their embattled property into a thriving ranching empire, succeeding where James and Margaret had failed. 1923, Jacobin Kara. Dutton in 1923 season 1, the year 1923 marked a violent chapter in the Yellowstone timeline as Jacob and Kara Dutton struggled to maintain the ranch amidst the turn of the century. Despite consolidating enough power for Jacob to become the livestock commissioner, the Duttons faced challenges from aggressive urbanization and industrialization. Spencer Dutton, the youngest son of the ranch founder, chose to escape his past by hunting in Namibia, Africa, leaving his family to deal with the threats on their own. The 1923 season finale left viewers disappointed by delaying Spencer's return to the ranch. But the upcoming 1923 season 2 promises a Dutton family reunion. The family's future is uncertain as they must deal with the threat of Donald Whitfield and Banner Creighton, attempting to claim Paradise Valley for themselves. In light of the events in the modern Yellowstone timeline, it's clear that the Duttons will face challenges in maintaining their control over the largest ranch in Montana. 1923 remains a suspenseful year in the Yellowstone timeline, as it promises to reveal other important events that occurred from 1883 to 1923. Viewers can expect to witness the Duttons at their darkest, highlighting the tenacity of the family's future is uncertain as they must deal with the threat of Donald Whitfield and Banner Creighton attempting to claim Paradise Valley for themselves. In light of the events in the modern Yellowstone timeline, it's clear that the Duttons will face challenges in maintaining their control over the largest ranch in Montana. 1923 remains a suspenseful year in the Yellowstone timeline, as it promises to reveal other important events that occurred from 1883 to 1923. Viewers can expect to witness the Duttons at their darkest, highlighting the tenacity of the ranching industry and the ongoing geopolitical conflicts on American soil that have their roots in the displacement of indigenous American nations and cultures. 1944 is Matthew McConaughey in new Yellowstone spin-off. There have been rumors circulating about Matthew McConaughey's possible involvement in Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone timeline prequel spin-offs, but Paramount Network has yet to confirm anything. However, according to Tom Prince, the executive vice president of production for 101 Studios, a new prequel spin-off called 1944 is in the works. Prince mentioned this at a Yellowstone event in Montana, where he hinted that the show would be filmed largely in the Bitterroot Valley, which doubles as Paradise Valley in Sheridan's shows, and would take place at Chief Joseph Ranch, the real-life location of the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. While Paramount has not officially confirmed the existence of 1944, Prince's comments align with Sheridan's plan to end 1923 with its upcoming second season, as well as the rumors of Yellowstone potentially coming to an end soon. 1944 could serve as a bridge between 1923 and Yellowstone by showcasing a younger version of John Dutton's father, played by Dabney Coleman, alongside the older characters from 1923. Regenerate Response 1960s Yellowstone series in early development details about the reported Yellowstone prequel set in the 1960s are scarce, but it is speculated that the series will explore John Dutton's upbringing, as he was born in 1959. It is also possible that the show may reveal when the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch first began branding its cowboys, a detail that has yet to be fully explained in the main series. John Dutton hinted that the tradition began with his father, so the 60s spin-off could shed light on the origins of their practice. However, until an official announcement is made by Paramount, fans will have to wait to see what the future holds for the Yellowstone franchise. Additionally, the flashbacks featuring a younger version of John Dutton, Josh Lucas, occurred around the same time, suggesting that they took place in 90s or early 2000s. John's mourning for Evelyn after over 2 decades further highlights her importance in his life. 2017, Yellowstone Season 1. The modern timeline of Yellowstone began with the death of Lee Dutton, resulting from territorial disputes between the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch and the neighboring Broken Rock Reservation. Beth Dutton Kelly really took charge of the ranch's business dealings and helped John confront Broken Rock chief Thomas Rainwater and Dan Jenkins, a billionaire real estate developer who sought to build a resort town. Meanwhile, Jamie Dutton West Bentley pursued his political career and was subsequently banished from the ranch. And Casey Lou Grimes returned home after living on the reservation with his wife Monica Long Dutton Kelsey Asbel and their son Tate Brecken Merrill. 2018 Yellowstone Seasons 2 to 3. In Yellowstone's second season, the Duttons face a commonly enemy in the form of the Beck brothers Malcolm, Neil McDonough, and Teal Terry Serpico, who were casino owners that had instigated violent attacks against them. When Rainwater and Jenkins formed an alliance, the Beck brother killed Jenkins and abducted Tate, but he was eventually rescued by Casey Dutton, who had become a new livestock officer, and the Montana Livestock Association. Meanwhile, Jamie's betrayal of the family by revealing their private lives to an investigative journalist caused tension, but he later regretted his actions. In an effort to maintain their hold on the ranch, John and Jamie made a deal, and John appointed Jamie as Montana's livestock commissioner, and then as interim attorney general, Casey reluctantly took on John and Jamie's former role as livestock commissioner. Beth and Jamie's rivalry intensified after Beth revealed to John that Jamie had unwittingly caused her sterilization when he accompanied her for an abortion during their teenage years. At the same time, Market Equity CEO Willa Hayes engaged in a power struggle with Beth for legal and financial control over the ranch and its surroundings. The conflict reached its peak when Roarke, Josh Holloway, a Market Equity stockholder, attempted to assassinate every member of the Dutton family. 2019 Yellowstone Season 4. In the aftermath of the attacks of the Duttons, John investigations led him to discover that Roarke was a mastermind behind the assassinations, prompting Rip to kill Roarke with a poisonous snake. Seeking retribution for the assassination attempts, the Duttons unleashed their wrath on their enemies, ultimately tracing the attacks back to Jamie's biological father, Garrett Randall. As Jamie ran for governor against his father and kept his son hidden from the public, Beth blackmailed Jamie into killing Garrett himself, capturing the event on video and plunging Yellowstone into a dark period. In the season 4 finale of Yellowstone, Casey underwent a ritual to become part of his wife Monica's tribe. Alone in the mountains and besieged by spirits, Casey received ominous visions regarding the future of the ranch and his divergent paths. Meanwhile, Beth and Rip cemented their relationship by getting married. 2022 Yellowstone Season 5 Part 1. Yellowstone's fifth season, Part 1, picks up in the present timeline with John Dutton becoming the governor of Montana and Market Equity CEO Caroline Warner being sent back to New York after losing to the Duttons. In her place, the company is represented by Ellis Steele and Sarah. 2022 Yellowstone Season 5 Part 1. Yellowstone's fifth season Part 1 picks up in the present timeline with John Dutton becoming the governor of Montana and Market Equity CEO Caroline Warner, Jackie Weaver, being sent back to New York after losing to the Duttons. In her place, the company is represented by Ellis Steele and Sarah Atwood, who is manipulating Jamie to fight against the Duttons. However, tragedy strikes when Casey and Monica's unborn baby, named John Dutton, dies in a car accident on the way to the hospital. The baby is buried in a traditional indigenous American ceremony at the Dutton Ranch. Governor John Dutton's plan to put the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch in a conservation easement faces a major obstacle as it's revealed that ranch hands inadvertently killed protected wolves from the national park. This could lead to the state blocking the conservation plan. Meanwhile, Jamie's betrayal of the family threatens to tear them apart as he exposes the train station to Beth and threatens to take them all down. With Sarah Atwood coaxing Jamie into taking action and impeaching John Dutton, the Duttons find themselves in a dangerous game of politics. As rumors circulate about Kevin Costner potentially leaving the show, And with the overarching plot nearing its conclusion, Yellowstone's fifth season, Part 1, could be the series' final chapter. 2022 4 6s. In the first half of Yellowstone Season 5, John Dutton became governor of Montana. And the Duttons emerged victorious against Market Equity CEO Caroline Warner. However, Market Equity is still determined to take down the Duttons, and they now have new representatives in Ellis Steele and Sarah Atwood. Tragedy struck when Casey and Monica's baby John Dutton died in a car accident on their way to the hospital, and the Duttons held an indigenous American burial ceremony for him on the ranch. Governor Dutton's plan to conserve the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch could be in jeopardy if the state discovers that the ranch hands killed protected wolves. Meanwhile, Jamie's betrayal threatens to tear the family apart, with Sarah Atwood manipulating him to impede John Dutton. The season ended with Rip Wheeler taking the Yellowstone herd to Texas and Jimmy settling into life at the Four Sixes Ranch, setting the stage for the spin-off Four Sixes, which will explore ranching traditions in depth. With rumors of the series coming to a close, Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 is expected to be the show's final chapter, and it will likely feature a convergence of the various storylines. Creator Taylor Sheridan has promised a deep dive into the ranching world in Four Sixes, which takes place in modern times on a ranch known for its exceptional horses and cattle. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and share. Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we will be talking about the real-life cowboys that are in Yellowstone. The success of the new Western drama series Yellowstone can be attributed to its genuine portrayal of the ranching lifestyle, which is made possible by the show's creator Taylor Sheridan's extensive background in ranching. Sheridan went the extra mile in ensuring the authenticity of the show by personally training the actors in horseback riding and sending them to cowboy camp to experience the real-life cowboy lifestyle. With the exception of Kaylee Rayleigh, Forey J. Smith, and Kevin Costner, all the main actors went on a mountain trip to learn how to live off the land and become proficient cowboys. To add to the show's realism, Sheridan also included actual cowboys in recurring roles, some of whom had no prior acting experience but quickly adjusted and became integral to the show's success. Forey J. Smith, Lloyd Pierce. Forey J. Smith is a name that has become synonymous with the hit television series Yellowstone. The actor portrays the character of Lloyd Pierce, the senior ranch hand at Yellowstone Dutton Ranch and the best friend of the ranch foreman. Rip Wheeler. Smith's portrayal of Lloyd has made him a fan favorite, and viewers have fallen in love with the character's wisdom, loyalty, and humor. However, few people know the incredible journey that Forey J. Smith has taken to become a successful actor. Smith was born in Helena, Montana in 1950. He grew up on a ranch and started riding horses when he was just 8 years old. As a teenager, Smith became involved in rodeo competitions, and he quickly developed a reputation as a talented rider. However, his rodeo career was cut short after a severe fall from a horse. The accident left him with a broken back, but it also opened up a new career path for him. Following the fall, Smith decided to become a stuntman. He worked on a few small projects before landing his first major role in the 1986 remake of Stagecoach. The film needed someone who could rope a guy off a roof, and Smith was the only one with a long enough rope. He landed the part and quickly made a name for himself in Hollywood. Over the years, Smith worked as a stuntman on various films and television shows, including Rambo 3, Posse, The Young Riders, Tombstone, Troublemakers, Midnight Cowboy, and Seven Mummies. He also took on occasional small acting roles, but his career as a stuntman was his primary focus. In 2016, Smith met Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan on the set of film Hell or High Water. Sheridan recognized Smith's potential as an actor and offered him the role of Lloyd Pierce. Smith accepted the offer and quickly became a fan favorite on the show. One of the reasons why Smith's portrayal of Lloyd is so authentic is that he has real-life experience working on a ranch. Growing up, Smith spent countless hours on his family's ranch, and he learned the ins and outs of the cowboy lifestyle. His experiences made him an invaluable asset to the Yellowstone cast, and he has been instrumental in helping the other actors learn how to ride horses and work with cattle. Smith's experience as a stuntman has also been useful in his role in Yellowstone. While he no longer performs most of his stunts, he is occasionally called upon to do some of the more challenging scenes. His knowledge of horseback riding and his ability to perform stunts has made him an essential member of the cast. One of the most remarkable things about Forey J. Smith is that he has never had a series regular role before Yellowstone. The show has been a career defining moment for the actor, and he has embraced the opportunity with open arms. Smith has said that he loves playing the character of Lloyd because he sees a lot of himself in the role. Both Smith and Lloyd are older men who have spent their lives working on ranches, and the actor has been able to bring a lot of his personal experience to the character. Despite his success on Yellowstone, Smith remains grounded and down to earth. When he's not working on the show, he spends his time at his ranch in San Isacia, New Mexico. He keeps horses and cattle on the property, and he often shares glimpses of his life on Instagram. Smith enjoys spending time at home, and he cherishes the simple things in life. Forrest J. Smith's journey to stardom has been a long and winding road. He started out as a rodeo cowboy before transitioning to a career as a stuntman. After years of working behind the scenes, he finally got his big break in Western drama Yellowstone. Jake Ream Jake. Jake Ream, who plays the character of Jake, the ranch Dutton at the Dutton family ranch. In Yellowstone, is not just an actor but also a real-life horseman. His connection with the show's creator Taylor Sheridan began when Sheridan saw an online listing of Ream's horse for sale and called him to inquire about it. They immediately hit it off during the horse's tryout, and this meeting led to Ream's involvement in the show. Initially, Ream was hired as a wrangler and stunt coordinator to train the actors in how to ride horses and act like cowboys. He was also responsible for the cowboy camp, where he loaded 14 mules and took the actors on horseback to his grandfather's land for a 4-night camp in Wilderness. During this time, Ream provided the actors with a crash course in cowboy lifestyle, giving them a real taste of what it's like to live and work on a ranch. As the show progressed, Sheridan started giving Ream more opportunities to showcase his roping and riding skills on camera. Eventually, Ream was offered the role of Jake, one of the ranch hands at the Dutton Ranch. This was his first acting gig, and he was thrilled to be a part of such a successful show. Ream's journey from wrangler and stunt coordinator to actor is a testament to his passion for horses and the cowboy way of life. In an interview with Outsider, he recalled his first big scene on the show, where he had to do a roping scene. Ream also mentioned how Sheridan gave him small roles initially, allowing him to pop in and out of the show, but eventually gave him a more significant role as the show progressed. Being a real-life cowboy, Ream brings authenticity to his character of Jake, the ranch hand at the Dutton Ranch. His knowledge of horsemanship and the cowboy way of life is evident in his performance, making his character feel more genuine and realistic. His experience on the show has also allowed him to meet other actors and learn from them, hoping his acting skills. Outside of his role on Yellowstone, Ream is still involved in the horse industry, training horses and providing horsemanship clinics. His love for horses and the cowboy way of life is evident in everything he does, and his journey from wrangler to actor is a testament to his dedication and passion for the Western lifestyle. In conclusion, Jake Ream's journey from selling a horse to Taylor Sheridan to becoming an actor on Yellowstone is a fascinating story. His involvement in the show as a wrangler and stunt coordinator allowed him to bring his expertise in horsemanship and cowboy culture to the set, and eventually landed a role as one of the ranch hands at the Dutton Ranch. Ream's authenticity and passion for the Western way of life are evident in his performance, making his character of Jake more believable and realistic. His journey is a reminder of the importance of pursuing one's passions and the possibilities that can arise from chance encounters. Ryan Bingham Walker. Walker is a ranch hand who joins the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch after being released from jail. Although he doesn't want to get involved in any of Dutton's fights, he often finds himself in disagreements with the other cowboys. Walker also brings music to the bunkhouse, and after he quits his job at the ranch, he pursues his passion for music. Interestingly, the actor who plays Walker, Ryan Bingham, shares a similar background to his character. Bingham grew up on the New Mexico and Texas border, surrounded by horses and rodeo. He started bull riding at a younger age and left home at 17 to compete on the rodeo circuit. However, it was ultimately music that brought him fame and success. Taylor Sheridan, the creator of Yellowstone, originally tasked Bingham to write a song for a movie he was directing, titled Wind River 2017. When Sheridan found out about Bingham's background in the rodeo, he offered him work on the set of Yellowstone. Bingham not only plays a character on the screen, but also helps out behind the scenes, giving the cast and crew tips on how to make the show more authentic. He also had a rough childhood as his mother drank herself to death and his father committed suicide. Because of his parents' alcoholism, Bingham had to leave at 17 to travel the rodeo circuit. During his time on the rodeo circuit, Bingham had some wild times. He became close with the guys he was rodeoing with, as they took care of each other like family. On one occasion, he drunkenly rode a horse down Main Street in nothing but cowboy boots. He also got his two front teeth knocked out while riding a particularly volatile bull, and now has fake front teeth. Bingham's passion for music led him to win several awards. In 2010, he won the Golden Globe for Best Original Song for The Weary Kind, which he co-wrote and produced with T-Bone Burnett for the movie Crazy Heart. He also won the Americana Music Association Artist of the Year and the Critics' Choice Movie Award for Best Original Song. Bingham took home the 2009 Satellite Award for Best Original Song and the 2011 Grammy for Best Song Written for Visual Media. In conclusion, Ryan Bingham, who plays Walker on Yellowstone, has a unique background in rodeo and music. His experience as a rodeo cowboy and his talent as a musician bring authenticity to his role and the show. Despite facing many challenges in his life, Bingham's passion for music has led him to receive several awards and achieve great success. Ethan Lee is a recurring character on Yellowstone, who joined the ranch as a new hand in season 3. He is played by actor and former stuntman Ethan Lee, who brings his real-life skills in riding and roping to the role. Before Yellowstone, Lee spent years on the rodeo circuit riding broncos and bulls. He also worked as a stunt performer on shows like Claws and NCIS, New Orleans, which eventually led him to his current role on the hit Western drama. Interestingly, Lee initially turned down the opportunity to join the Yellowstone cast, citing his young children as a reason for not wanting to be away for extended periods. However, he little regretted his decision and accepted the offer when it came around a second time. Starting out behind the scenes, Lee was eventually promoted to a member of the cast by the end of season 2. Taylor Sheridan, Travis Wheatley. Travis, a character in Yellowstone, is a Texan horse trader, quarter horse breeder, and shower. Similarly, the show's creator and writer Taylor Sheridan has an extensive background in ranching and breeding quarter horses. He grew up in Boss Country, Texas, near Cranfell's Gap, where he learned everything about horses and ranching. Sheridan has a personal connection to the cowboy lifestyle, having grown up on a ranch. Unfortunately, his family lost the ranch in the early 1990s, but he got a job at a nearby cattle ranch at the age of 14, earning $400 a month. His knowledge and expertise with the cowboy lifestyle helped to make Yellowstone authentic and realistic. Although Sheridan began his career as an actor, he quickly shifted his focus to writing and directing. Which he excelled at. In addition to Yellowstone, he has produced several successful neo-Western movies, including the critically acclaimed trilogy Sicario 2015, Hell or High Water 2016, and Wind River 2017. His works have been so popular that he was named the greatest Western storyteller of his generation by Esquire in 2018. Sheridan is also a co-owner of the Four Sixes Ranch, which spans 260,000 acres and serves as a filming location for Yellowstone. The ranch, which provides state-of-the-art reproductive and maternity service, is primarily used for breeding top-quality Angus cattle and quarter horses. Additionally, it will be the main filming location for Four Sixes, the Yellowstone spin-off show. Although Sheridan spends a significant amount of time running the Four Sixes ranch, he also has a ranch of his own in Weatherford, Texas, where he lives with his wife and son. Like her husband, Sheridan's wife, Nicole Sheridan, is a genuine cowgirl who grew up riding horses on her grandparents' ranch in Wyoming. Due to his success in the entertainment industry and showing, Sheridan was inducted into the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame in 2021. He currently owns over 100 horses and competes in the reining and cutting disciplines, and several of his camping quarter horses appear in Yellowstone. Sheridan also provides most of the horses for his Western shows, ensuring that the horses are well cared for and that the shows are authentic. Thank you for watching the video. It's no secret that the show's authenticity has been a significant factor in its success. And these actors' real-life cowboy backgrounds have only added to the show's realism. From Forey J. Smith's rodeo career to Sheridan's experience working on a ranch, it's clear that these actors bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to their roles on Yellowstone. We hope you enjoyed learning about these real-life cowboys and their contributions to the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content about Yellowstone and the Western genre. Thank you for watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk about one of the most popular TV shows of recent times, Yellowstone, and the fate of its lead character, John Dutton. For those who don't know, Yellowstone is a neo-Western anti-hero crime drama that follows the Dutton family, who own the largest ranch in the US. Kevin Costner plays the patriarch of the family. John Dutton and his character has been at the center of several rumors about whether or not he will die in the upcoming season 5 part 2. Now, John Dutton is no stranger to facing death, having survived a multiple vehicle collision, colon cancer, and even a gunshot wound in season 3. However, the death of John Dutton, Case, and Monica's baby early in season 5 has led many fans to speculate that John's fate may be sealed. In a recent interview, Kevin Costner himself did not confirm or deny John Dutton's death, stating that he hasn't given much thought to his character's fate. He did, however, say that if he decides to leave the show, it could potentially lead to John's demise. While some fans may be worried about the possibility of John Dutton's death, others argue that it may be necessary for the show's narrative. After all, Yellowstone has explored nearly every possible angle of its core themes, and John's death could be the explosive conclusion the show needs to cap off this particular chapter in the history of the ranch. Moreover, John's death could allow for a deeper exploration of the socio-political themes that made Yellowstone so compelling in the first place. With spin-offs in the works, the end of both John and Yellowstone could open up new avenues for storytelling. So what do you think? Will John Dutton die in Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2? Do you think his death is necessary for the show's narrative? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Hopefully, there's a character based on her in 4 Sixes because she sounds larger than life. Yellowstone 4 Sixes episodes. Paramount has not confirmed the number of episodes in 4 Sixes. Both Yellowstone and 1883 have previously featured 10 per season, while 1923 had 8 episodes in its first season. Yellowstone 4 Sixes release date prediction. No release date have been announced for 4 Sixes, but as per IMDb, the show is currently expected to premiere in 2024. Where to watch Yellowstone? 4 Sixes will join Yellowstone in airing on Paramount Network, fellow spin-offs 1883, 1923, and the upcoming 1883. The Bass Reef story are exclusive to Paramount Plus. Previous seasons of Yellowstone are unavailable to stream on Peacock, but 4 Sixes will likely stream on Paramount Plus after it airs on Paramount Network. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more updates on your favorite shows.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we will discuss the Dutton family, the central focus of the television series Yellowstone and its prequel spin-offs 1883 and 1923. But with so many characters and storylines, it can be hard to keep track of who's who in the Dutton family. That's why we are sharing this comprehensive Dutton family tree. Yellowstone has always been a series interested in, if not outright obsessed with, legacy. That of the Yellowstone Ranch, upon which the fictional Dutton family has lived since the late 1800s, is foremost in the mid of patriarch John Dutton III, played by Kevin Costner with the gruff bluster of a cowboy past his prime. He often seems more interested in the well-being of this land than that of his own children, or perhaps it's simply that he has an easier time understanding what it needs to thrive. But if the ever-expanding Yellowstone cinematic universe has anything resonant to say about legacy, it's that the land's legacy is determined by the people who care for it. And that means the Dutton lineage, the fathers and sons of this century, spanning epic matters as much as the borders of their property. And so we turn to 1883 and 1923, creator Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone prequel spin-offs which chronicle the upper tiers of the family tree as they branch down to John Dutton III and his 4 children. 1883, which concluded its first season in February 2022, featured Tim McGraw and Fade Hill as the central Duttons, who claimed the infamous patch of Montana wilderness known as the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch after the tragic death of their daughter Elsa. The story picks back up in 1923, which dropped its first episode December 18, with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren as their chapter ski Duttons. Ford's Jacob Dutton, brother to McGraw's James Dutton, is tasked with caring for his brother's home and family, a challenge complicated by the expected 20th century problems, disease, drought, the Great Depression, post-war fallout, and the violence that has always haunted this family. As the 1923 trailer teases, that last line in particular is intriguing given the ways in which the Yellowstone universe concerns itself with the romanticism of tradition, the nobility of the past, though only certain portions of it, and the passing down of intergenerational trauma. A trauma that will inevitably impact the land. So, to understand this haunted family best, it's essential to parse its origins. Below, take a closer look through the possible knots of the Dutton family tree. A quick disclaimer, however, because the Taylor-Sheridan universe has yet to reveal the official Dutton family tree, the following is a speculation based on what the shows have revealed so far. Spoilers ahead of you, if you haven't watched Yellowstone 1883 or 1923. James Dutton. One of the leads of 1883, James Dutton, Tim McGraw, was the original patriarch of the Dutton family and the first to claim the family's home in Montana. Originally a farmer from Tennessee, he traveled west with his wife and children after fighting as a Confederate soldier in the Civil War. He intended to journey further beyond Montana, but settled there after the death of his daughter Elsa. Margaret Dutton. A nurse for the Confederate Army, Margaret Faith Hill farmed beside her husband James in Tennessee before the family headed northwest for new territory. She and James had 3 children in total, Elsa, John and Spencer. Jacob Dutton. Brother to James, Jacob Dutton Harrison Ford took over caring for the Yellowstone homestead in the early 1900s. He is one of the leading men in 1923. Cara Dutton. Played by Helen Mirren in 1923, Cara Dutton is the wife of Jacob and matriarch of the Dutton family following Margaret's death. Claire Dutton. Sister to James and Jacob. 1883's Claire Dutton Dawn Olivery was a recent widow who travelled in search of a new home with her brother's family and her daughter, Mary Abel, but after Mary Abel was killed by a gang outside of Fort Worth, Texas, Claire, who had lost her husband and all 7 of her children, died by suicide at Mary Abel's grave. Mary Abel, daughter of Claire Dutton and niece to James, Jacob, Margaret and Cara. 1883's Mary Abel, Emma Marloff, died on the road west when a gang attacked the family's camp in Texas. Elsa Dutton. The eldest child of James and Margaret Dutton, Elsa served as the narrator of 1883 before her death in the season finale, travelling west at the age of 17 with her parents and younger brother John. Elsa fell in love twice on the road, first with cowboy Ennis, who was killed by bandits, and then with Comanche warrior Sam, to whom she promised she would return after her family found their homestead out west. When she was never able to make it back to her love as she was shot and killed before they could be reunited. In her honor, James and Margaret founded the Dutton family homestead at the site of her grave. John Dutton I. The oldest son of James and Margaret Dutton, John Dutton I appears in 1883 as a child and in 1923 as an adult, played by James Badge Dale. He worked the Yellowstone and land alongside his uncle Jacob and had his own family with wife Emma and son Jack. He dies midway through 1923 thanks to an ongoing feud between cattle ranchers and sheep herders. Spencer Dutton. Although we don't meet him in 1883, we learn in 1923 that James and Margaret had a third child, Spencer Dutton, who was born after the family settled in Montana, a veteran of World War I. He's a main character in 1923 and the most likely father of John Dutton too, given Elizabeth Dutton's miscarriage in the 1923 season finale. Alex Dutton, a feisty spitfire whom Spencer falls in love with while living in Africa. Alex eventually marries into the Dutton family and travels with Spencer back to the Yellowstone. In the 1923 season finale, she sees Quessie aboard their transport ship home. Although it's possible she's suffering from seasickness, it seems equally likely she's carrying John Dutton too. Emma Dutton. Emma Dutton Marley Shelton is the wife of John Dutton I and mother to Jack Dutton, 1923. She dies of suicide after her husband is shot and killed early in the season. Jack Dutton. The son of John Dutton 1 and Emma Dutton, Jack Dutton, Darren Munn works with his father and great uncle to tend to Yellowstone land during 1923. He falls in love with Elizabeth Strafford and marries her in an unofficial, though very sweet ceremony. It was originally thought that Jack would become the father to John Dutton too. Episode 5 of 1923 revealed Elizabeth was pregnant, but given his wife's miscarriage in the season finale, it seems more likely Spencer and Alex will be Johnny Jur's true parents. Elizabeth Dutton. Set up as Jack's love interest in 1923, Elizabeth becomes the life partner and wife of the young Dutton. In episode 5 of season 1, she reveals she is pregnant, but she miscarries in the season finale. John Dutton too. Presumably the son of Spencer and Alex, or perhaps Jack and Elizabeth, if they conceive again. John Dutton too is not guaranteed to appear in 1923, though he shows up as an old man in flashback episodes of Yellowstone. He was once the Dutton family patriarch and is the father of Costner's John Dutton III. John Dutton III. The current owner of the massive Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, Costner's John Dutton III is an uncompromising traditionalist, a rugged cowboy, a survivor of multiple near-death experiences, and the governor of Montana. He yearns for nothing more than the continuation of his family's land in the exact state it was bequeathed to him. Peter Dutton. In Yellowstone Season 5, John Dutton III reveals
one upcoming Yellowstone spin-off series is Four Sixes, which will follow the lives of cowboys living and working on Texas Four Sixes Ranch, pronounced Four Sixes. Yellowstone fans have seen this ranch before the enormous property was first introduced in Season 4 when underachieving ranch hand Jimmy Jefferson White got sent there to try to get his act together. It reappeared in Season 5, Episode 7 when John Dutton Kevin Costner considers spending his cattle there for the winter, and Beth Kelly Rayleigh got inspired to start selling Yellowstone branded beef after looking at the Four Sixes thriving website. That was some well-integrated product placement for a company Sheridan co-owns, wasn't it? It seemed like the idea for Four Sixes got folded into Yellowstone instead of becoming its own show. But that turned out to not be the case, and Four Sixes is still in development at Paramount Network. Yellowstone Four Sixes was announced in 2021 and we still don't know too much about it. But as we look towards the return of Yellowstone Season 5, we are keeping track of everything we know about the spin-off Four Sixes. According to a press release from Paramount, the show will explore the history of the legendary Four Sixes Ranch. Founded when Comanche still ruled West Texas, no ranch in America is more steeped in the history of West than the Four Sixes. Still operating as it did 2 centuries before and encompassing an entire country, the Four Sixes has inspired a new scripted series where the rule of law and the laws of nature merge in a place where the most dangerous thing one does is the next thing. The Four Sixes is synonymous with merciless endeavor to raise the finest horses and livestock in the world. And ultimately, where world-class cowboys are born and made, the Four Sixes web series will follow the lives of the cowboys, ranchers, and their families who call the Four Sixes Ranch their home. Like Yellowstone, the series will showcase the daily life, struggles, and triumphs of the characters as they navigate the challenges of ranch life, deal with personal relationships, and face unexpected obstacles. From cattle drives to radios, from land disputes to personal conflicts, the Four Sixes web series promises to deliver a thrilling and immersive experience. In an interview with Variety, Taylor Sheridan talked about how Four Sixes is connected to Yellowstone. He said, "This is a world that's 150 years old and it's still going. Yellowstone was just one story and now we are going to tell you another one." Yellowstone. Four Sixes cast. No official cast has been announced for Four Sixes. However, in Season 4 of Yellowstone, Jimmy was sent to the Four Sixes to be whipped into shape. He fell in love with the place and decided to stay instead of going back to the Yellowstone Ranch. White and Catherine Kelly, who plays Emily, Jimmy's girlfriend, whom we met at the Four Sixes, returned to Yellowstone in Season 5's mid-season finale, which could help the flagship show set up the new series. Or perhaps Rip Cole Hauser and Beth will take a journey that will end up at the Four Sixes, as hinted at in Season 5, Episode 7, when John assigned Rip to lead a move of half of the Yellowstone cattle to a place when a mild winter and Beth said she'd come with him. Ultimately, it's probably unlikely that Rip and Beth would have Yellowstone unless big changes are in store for the franchise. In early February, Deadline reported that Kevin Costner would be leaving Yellowstone, bringing an end to the original series in its current form. In early February, Deadline reported that Kevin Costner would be leaving Yellowstone, bringing an end to the original series in its current form, and that a new Yellowstone spin-off starring Matthew McConaughey was in development. In response, a Paramount Network spokesperson commented, "We have no news to report. Kevin Costner is a big part of Yellowstone, and we hope that's the case for a long time to come. If the franchise is getting a shake-up, which might be for the best, could McConaughey star in Four Sixes? While that seems like a perfect fit, shirtless Matt loves rap in his home states of Texas. Nothing has been confirmed. However, Sheridan is known to wrangle big stars for his project, so it's not out of this question." An interview Sheridan did with Deadline in December 2022 says that much of the next season of Yellowstone will be filmed at the Four Sixes, which is where Sheridan has his base of operations. What does the title Four Sixes mean? According to legend, Samuel Burnett won the ranch in a card game with Four Sixes. However, his descendants deny that story and say the name of the ranch actually comes from the fact that Burnett branded his first herd of cattle with Four Sixes. You say it as Four Sixes, not 6666 or 6666. After hearing about the Four Sixes' real life history, you might be surprised it took as long as it did for Sheridan to tap into its storytelling potential. Sheridan purchased the Four Sixes Ranch in May 2021 after its previous owner passed away in 2020. The first time the ranch had been sold in over 150 years. It was established by Samuel Burnett, a rancher and oilman in 1900, and spanned 3 countries in over 450,000 acres in Texas.